Honey, the devil is working. Okay? I guess this message is like something that is gonna be important to people, because that's like the third time. And mind you, ain't nobody calling my phone all day. So there's that. If you know, you know. Where was I don't remember. So let's just start over. It is okay to love people, to love our family and our friends, but at the end of the day, the ultimate decision maker in your life is you. Nobody can make you do anything. Nobody can make anyone else do anything. And that's something that people need to understand and realize, is that look, see, throat chakra. We need to understand and realize that although we love these people cannot make our decisions for us. One thing my grandmother used to say to me all the time is, I can tell you what I think and I can tell you how I feel about it, but at the end of the day, I'm not the one laying in the bed with it. Meaning, at the end of the day, your decisions don't directly affect other people. It affects you. There are determining factors, and then there are non-determining factors, right? Someone who gives you their advice but is not directly connected to the situation is in all actuality a non-determining factor, right? What is that, a non-active player or something? Some shit like that on the game. Their advice is cool and dandy, but we have to understand that although they give us their advice, it is up to us to listen to the advice, to apply what we've learned from the advice, right? So a lot of people take things like very literal when it's not meant that way. It's meant to like give you an idea on how to better handle certain situations. Now, I understand that we love our family, we love our friends, and we don't want them to feel like we're not listening to them or we don't value their advice, right? But, excuse me, confirmation burp. But, in all actuality, at the end of the day, the decision is yours. This brings me to what I ultimately would like to say, which is, sis, bro, man, if you're in a situationship, a relationship, any type of ship, any type of anything that involves someone else, right? You have to be very careful about taking on other people's problems and decisions and options and choices as if they're yours, because what applies to one does not apply to all. What applies to some may apply to many, but would not apply to all. We have to understand that, and in understanding that and in knowing that, that will help you out a lot in this thing that we call life, in this school of life, okay? Because I've noticed that a lot of people, including myself, don't get me wrong, I've done this before too. A lot of people get lost in these relationships, these friendships, these whatever ships, and they lose themselves. Now, you're going to have 5 or 6 cars. You know, I had like 5 or 6 cars go past this lady and her kids, and they just standing in the damn street. Anyways, look, lost my whole train of thought. Don't let let relationships with other people govern who you are and what you do and how you live your life, basically. Like, I was trying to find a better way to say that, because I know that sometimes I can be very, very blunt, and I can be very head on, because I am not a coddler. I did not coddle myself when I was going through my shit. Nobody coddled me, and I'm not about to sit here and coddle nobody else. I hold other people responsible and accountable, just like I hold myself responsible and accountable for my actions and my decisions. Oh, I know what I was saying. So, letting other people determine how you feel or what you decide to do with your life is not the right thing to do, because at the end of the day, it's you who's miserable, not them. We have to understand that people are meant to be in our lives, and they are meant to be there to give us advice if we need it, but you don't have to. Let's just put it like this: someone's advice is just that, it's advice. You don't have to take it. Like, it's not the end all be all, right? So, ultimately what I'm saying is, make decisions for yourself without feeling like you have to do something, if that makes sense, right? Because asking for someone's advice about a life event is like prepping for a test, right? You know what you read on the practice test. You know what you've studied in all them books. But at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, that's not what's actually on the test, right? So it's like, when you get advice from people and you asking people's opinions on things, it's okay to consider that. It's okay to ponder on it. It's okay to sleep on it. And it's also okay to take bits and pieces and what resonates with you and apply it accordingly, right? So if it don't resonate with you, or if that part don't resonate with you, then okay, take that part out. But what about the rest of the message, right? Because at the end of the day, we need to understand that our decisions are ours alone. When we pass, right? Because a lot of people feel like when they pass, they're going to meet their maker and all of this stuff, and they're going to be judged and da-da-da-da. Okay, well, if you want to go with that. Oh, I just saw a beaver. Or a gopher. I'm not sure which one. I've been seeing a lot of animals, random ass animals, lately. I saw like 4 or 5 bunnies yesterday. So, yeah. Having people's opinions is like, yeah, I think that is either a beaver or a gopher. I'm sorry, y'all. I get really distracted. I get easily distracted. That's the ADHD in me. Whatever. Just be careful what you listen to. Be careful who you listening to. Be careful what advice you take, what advice you apply. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with those decisions, no one else. You have to live with the choices that you make, no one else. Although they might affect someone else, like maybe your kids or, your spouse, at the end of the day, no one ultimately has to deal with that decision but you. And we as a society have come to really rely on others for answers, and that is not the point of this school called life. This school called life is for us to ultimately make decisions that will be best for us. And a lot of times we are so caught up in what everyone else is doing that we neglect ourselves and what we should be doing. Like today, I wanted to go get a massage. I know I needed to go and get food. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go get food. I'm going to drop it back off, and I'm going to go and get a massage after. Well, I come out the house and I got a flat tire. I had to go and get 2 tires from the front of the car. This ain't even my car. But when I called Uber last week for the tire that blew on me, they're going to tell me they was going to charge me $350 just to put the car on the tow truck. And I wasn't going to be able to get another replacement car. And that all they could do was drop me off at the place. Well, the place that I got this car from is like 45 minutes away. So when I told the lady that, she was like, oh, well, we could drop you off at home. What you mean? Oh, so you mean to tell me that you're going to take the car that I have, you're not going to give me a replacement, and then you're going to charge me $350 just to take the car, and then if you find that it was something that happened that wasn't Uber's fault or Avis's fault, that I'm going to have to pay more money? Oh, bye-bye. Bye-bye. I didn't like that option, right? So what did I do? I went and got a used tire. You got me messed up. Who? $350 for a $55 tire? No, we're not doing that. That was the first tire. So now I just replaced 2 more tires. Mind you, like I said, this is not even my car. But if I want to continue to work, then I have to replace it. Because clearly they don't give a fuck, right? Sometimes people give us options that we don't like. Okay, we'll find another way. It's really that simple. Find another way. I had an encounter with a client, my last client that I just dropped off, and she was like, I have had really bad experiences with female Uber drivers. And I'm like, for real? I never had a bad experience with female Uber drivers when I was taking Uber. So, mind you, I didn't say that. I just listened. She was telling me about how she's gone through all of these things where people was just being devilish, okay? And at the end of it, in my head, I was like, you're attracting negativity because you're being negative. Bruh, you got a government job. You have a roof over your head. You are physically capable of grocery shopping and putting your stuff in the car, because when I asked you if you want to help, you said no, you had it. So you're good enough health, right? That you're functioning. You have all of these things, but all you can talk about for the 15 minutes that you was in my car was all the things that you didn't like. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. It's real simple. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you are constantly looking at things in a negative manner, you're going to continue to get negative things in your reality. That's just the way. And there's nothing that is going to change that until you decide to change your perception. It's real easy to understand. Now, granted, I've been there. When you're going through a lot of shit, it is hard, okay, let me find the silver lining. That's why there are steps that you should take. That's why there are things that you can do in order to change your thoughts, right? Make sure that whenever a negative thought comes up, you think about what you got out of it. Try to find the silver lining in that particular event, right? The second thing, I would do what I did, which was anytime I felt myself thinking negatively, I would name 3 things that I was grateful for. If that didn't change my mood, okay, well then I would name 5 more. If that didn't change my mood, then I would think about my kids, honestly. But whatever it is that you hold on to that keeps you anchored. So my kids are an anchor for me. When I was going through my social anxiety, I also needed an anchor. So I needed someone in the room that I knew where I could just look around the room and see that person, and it would give me a sense of calm, because it's like, okay, I'm not here by myself. You know what I'm saying? So like, think about 3 things that you're grateful for. If that doesn't work, think about 5 more things that you're grateful for. And if that doesn't work, think about the thing in your life that you are most grateful for. I am most grateful for my children. My children saved my life. I was headed down a very dark path. My children are my anchor. They are what kept me in this world, because, honey, I was done. I was done. Like, done. And it took for me to have a child and go to jail in order for me to be like, damn, I really had it made. And now that I don't have it made, and I'm sitting in this fucking cell with 4 walls and a miniature door, can I get what I had back, please? This is not an even trade. I didn't say I wanted things to get worse. I just said I didn't want what I had. Okay, well, there's the problem. I didn't want what I had, but I was constantly focused on negative things. So what did I get? I got more negative shit, and I ended up in jail. Like, when I say my whole life has been confirmation of all the things that people are talking about now, that it took me a long time to learn, but I wanted to change. And so there's the other thing. Like, if you don't want to change, and I really hate that word, but we're just gonna flow with it for now. If you don't want to change, then can't nobody help you. They can give you all the advice in the world. They can talk to you till they blue in the face. They could talk to you till pigs fly. If you don't want to change, you're not going to change. And it doesn't matter who it's for, because it's not for you. And if it's not for you, it's not going to stick. And it's that simple. If it's not for you, it's not going to stick. So we have to stop trying to change people, because if they don't want to change, it's not going to stick. We have to focus on ourselves and decide what we want to change within ourselves, so that we can be better for ourselves, not for somebody else, for ourselves. We have to put ourselves first. And I know in this society, it is not common to put ourselves first, because we have to do all the things. We have to cook, we have to clean, we have to be chauffeurs, we have to be spouses, we got to make sure we're there for our partners, we got to make sure that we're there for our family and our friends and all the things. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you are not pouring into your own cup, how much use are you going to be to other people? And this is something that I had a very big problem with when it came to me understanding, right, that I was giving from a depleted cup. I didn't have anything left to give. And so when I hit rock bottom, I expected those people to be like me, and expected them to pour back into me the way that I had poured into them, and that didn't happen. And I was upset. I was really upset. And then I realized that everything that I had done, yes, in a sense, it was for them, but in all actuality, it was for me, to make me feel validated, to make me feel like I had a place in their lives. And I did. It was called convenience. Accessibility. But not one time when I needed them did they show up for me. So we give, and then get mad when they take. That's asinine. It really is. It's just asinine. So at the end of the day, you just have to determine what it is that you want. Like, You're going to struggle through everything, because that's the duality of this thing, of this game that we call life. It's good and bad. You can't get the good without the bad, and you can't have the bad without the good. And it's just, that's like the sun comes out in the daytime to give us heat, right? To give us the vitamin D that we need. And then in the nighttime, the moon comes out to shine light in the darkness so that we can see where we're going. In the daytime, you don't need the sun. So what we got the sun for? It has to be there for a reason. It's there to give us the heat, the nourishment, the love that we need on a daily basis. Without the sun, it's cold and dreary and ugly. Like, that's just what it is. I feel my best when it's spring and summertime. My depression kicks in when it's fall and winter. The days that I feel okay in the wintertime and in the fall time is the days when the sun is out. On dreary, ugly days like today, I don't be feeling it. Because there's no sun, there's no warmth, there's no energy being put out, like there's no output. But then I realized that my mood was not only based on the sun, but it was also based on my external circumstances. And when I stopped basing my mood on my external circumstances, things started to change for me. Oh, don't get me wrong. I still go through my shit every day. Don't get me wrong. It is an everyday battle. Every day you wake up and you're grateful for all the things. And then there are things that just make you realize that the duality in life is a real thing. Because I'm grateful every day for being able to wake up, for my kids being able to wake up, for my health, for my wealth. And wealth is not always financial, right? I'm grateful for the vehicle that I have to drive. It's not mine, but I'm grateful to have it because I can work in order to pay for the vehicle. But if I didn't have the vehicle, I couldn't work. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's, everything is a circle. It all comes back around. It all comes back around. And so we just got to know that our choices and our decisions are ours alone. And yes, we can accept advice and opinions, but that's exactly what they are. They're advice and opinions. That's it. What we do with the advice and the opinions is what makes or breaks our circumstance. Now, you can get advice from here and advice from here, and then take apart what resonates, and then apply that. You don't have to do this and do this and do this and do this. No. You figure out what applies to you and you apply it accordingly. How many bites does it take to eat an elephant? We don't know. Because elephants come in all shapes and sizes, right? So what do? You just eat one bite at a time. One thing at a time. That's all you need to do. One thing at a time. Okay, this person said this. Well, I don't really resonate with this, but maybe I can apply it this way. And then this person said this, and I really agree with that, but in this circumstance, I would like to apply it this way. Like, we have to start finding our own solutions. Like, be solution oriented and not problem oriented. Worry about what you're inputting so that you can figure out how to apply it in the output. we gotta figure this shit out, man. Like, anyways, whatever. Sorry for ranting. I went on a whole little tangent there, but just know that this message is out of love and light, and I am here for those who want to talk, who would like some, you know, outside advice or opinions, or, you know, just a different perspective on how to look at things. Because I noticed that when we go to our friends and family for advice or whatever, we feel as if we have to, well, I'm sorry, they feel as if we have to take their advice. I can take your advice, I can listen to your advice, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to apply your advice, right? So just know. Woo! Okay, so one of my favorite YouTubers just posted a video, and the video is about why you're going through what you're going through. So if you know, you know, go watch it. But just know that, like, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here. The link is going to be in the bio. Please feel free to set up a consultation call. Right now I'm doing free 15-minute calls for people who just need a tad bit of an outside opinion, because sometimes when we have people inside of our circle giving us advice, it is very biased, right? Because we would want to think that they want the best for us, right? But at the end of the day, sometimes it takes that outside perspective to help us figure out what we got going on. So, long story short, if you'd like to have a talk, I'm here. Feel free to check out the link in the bio. If you know someone who needs to hear this message, please feel free to share. If you would like to and you feel called to like this video, I would appreciate it to help the algorithm spread the love. And if you feel called to subscribe, please do. If you don't, I respect it and I love you anyway. So that's my rant for the day. I hope that this resonates with you, and you know, let me know how you feel about it in the comments. Okay, so peace.